Wednesday, the 16th of June, and surprisingly, I'm expecting to get my box spring today. That's right, I did order a box spring for my bed because even though my bed is fine the way it is, if you will, the mattress and the frame, basically sometimes the mattress seems to slip, right off the frames just slightly before I have to push it back up because of the fact that, like I said, there's nothing really there to balance it. I mean, my mom has a box spring on hers, and I guess that helps out a little bit. And, they're always wondering, why didn't I get one at the time? And all I was really thinking about was just getting a frame and a mattress to, to sleep on because of the fact that, basically, basically, a long story short, the futon, as I've mentioned before, and I did a video on it here, the futon I've had for a while finally bit the dust. So I had to basically get something different. I mean, as I said in that one video, the way it was going is one of the sections had broken down so badly that I was on the verge of falling right through it. That's exactly how bad it was. I was on the verge of falling right through it, and that's not usually a good sign or anything if you catch my drift. So, yeah, I had to finally, get rid of the futon. But what was surprising to me when I got rid of the futon is when I looked on the back part of it, the seating part, kind of like this, the seating part like here, I noticed that in the back, there were two little zippers on each side. And I realized, wait a minute, what is this? So I opened up the zippers on the back of the futon, on the chair part of the futon, or the couch part, I should say. And it was actually what I'm trying to say, contained two metallic legs inside. It contained two metallic legs inside. And I looked at this and I was like, well, why didn't the mattress people tell us this? And my only thought was, and my mom even agreed with this, they didn't say anything because they were selling it. They were clearancing out the futon. You see, the futon we got, was to originally, have something in the guest room of the old house so that my cousin who was staying with us at the time could sleep on something, and then later on we could utilize it as a guest bed for anybody else that would stay there as well. And we didn't realize, at that time that, there was two legs underneath. And had we realized that, I think we would have been able to salvage and save that futon for future use. But, what are you going to do? If they don't tell you, hey, by the way, there's a couple of legs under here you guys might want to make usage of in the future. When they don't tell you that, yeah, it's kind of tricky, if you know what I mean. It's kind of tricky, if you know what I mean. I'm not saying it's kind of tricky, but yeah, it is kind of tricky to realize that when you don't even know it's there. And you should know it's there, but they don't tell you. You know what I'm saying? Sorry if I'm rambling a little bit. It's still early and I just woke up a little while ago. My mom left for work about 36 minutes ago. She left for work about 36 minutes ago. So, because like I said, right now it's 7:26 a.m. Pacific time. And this is her last Wednesday. Like yesterday was her last Tuesday and last Monday. And the day prior today was the last Monday. This is her last Wednesday before her 2-month break, or near 2-month break, which starts at the end of Friday. Starts at the end of Friday, if you will. So, yeah, she's looking forward to it. I can tell you that honestly. She's definitely looking forward to it because one thing I've noticed with my mom, one thing I've noticed when I would go back and watch the security camera video from the living room and even from the outside, is she's been waking up. She's not been waking up, but she's been leaving a lot later than usual. She's been leaving a lot later than usual, if you will, and that was a notification being given to me by my phone. But like I said, she's been leaving a lot later, if you will. And what I mean by that is, I usually give my mom about 5 to 10 minutes, a head start. If you kind of give her like a 5 to 10 minute head start after she leaves. And the reason I do that is because since I live with both my parents on separate occasions, I kind of, have an idea of what to expect. I kind of have an idea of what to, you know, what to be prepared for and everything, especially when my parents are leaving early for work because there are times, they might forget something and they'll come back. They will come back home and almost immediately, almost like not even 5 minutes after they leave, they'll turn around, come back home, and either my mom will call me on the phone or she'll come into the house herself and she will retrieve what she forgot to take with her. And she's done that on several occasions, not just here in Newman, but also when we lived in Patterson. The same thing with my dad. My dad, sometimes would, get ready to go to work. And usually what happens is he'll either come back because he forgot something, or what would happen is that I would wait about 5 minutes. I would wake up, wait about 5 minutes, maybe even 10. And if I didn't see the truck gone, because he had a truck at that time as well, if I didn't see the truck gone at that time, then that would kind of tell me he didn't have to go to work. Because the one thing about his old job that he had is that he would work at this place called Southwest Publishing. It was like a warehouse where they would do all kinds of, like, they would send out all kinds of junk mail and stuff like that, or they would help you at least do that. And what happened, and the thing is, at times they'd be so slow that they wouldn't need him to come in on his regular days. And his schedule was kind of like very wonky. It's like every other week it would be either 3 days or 4 days. And how we got by with that was the pay. The pay was actually pretty good for him at that time, considering it was a Southwest Publishing, place that he was working at in Topeka, Kansas. But yeah, his schedule sometimes would be, Wednesday through Friday, or 1 week Thursday, or 1 week, it would be like Wednesday through Saturday, I think, and sometimes it'd be Thursday through Saturday. But again, it was one of those situations to where he would basically, what's the word I'm looking for? He would basically, he would basically, it was one of those situations to where he would basically get a phone call and they would say, hey, we don't need you to come in today. And he would stay home. Now, here's the thing. This was at a time before I moved out. This was like a year or two, but like several years, like even when I was in high school. Even when I was in high school, this was several times before I moved out. Well, many times, I should say. And of course, during the summer, being off from school, you expect, okay, I'm gonna have the place to myself. But then even throughout that time, it got a little difficult because you didn't know what his schedule was going to be like. You had no idea. You had no idea what his schedule was going to be like because, again, he didn't know. He didn't know what his schedule was going to be like. I mean, it was kind of like me at Burger King. I would work because they needed help. But sometimes they'd get so overstocked that they would call me up and say, hey, you want to stay home? We're kind of a little booked. We may not, would you like to stay home and all that? I'd be like, yeah, sure, no problem. So I would stay home because they wouldn't need me. And like I said, it was just one of those, situations to where So yeah, basically it's just like that. It's kind of like one of those situations to where you didn't know what you were going to do, whether you were going to work on your scheduled work day or you were going to be allowed to stay home, because they didn't need you because they already had enough staff, or they were too slow. I don't know. Um, but yeah, it's just, but yeah, you know, because because of me living with him and me having one of my main rooms upstairs, I would look down, if you will, I would look down the window just to see whether or not the truck had left. And had it left, then I'd be able to have the place to myself for a little bit. Yeah, there was not really much to do until I got into my junior and senior years, and I would do football practice, and that was about it, and do weight room lifting and all that. But besides all that, there was not really much to do. You know what I'm saying? Not really much to do, except maybe play video games, which I did, and probably watch movies, and that was it. But not really much to do after that. Um, but and maybe even walk around town. I mean, the only exciting thing that I kind of had fun doing was when we had what was known as the Old Settlers Reunion, which they're going to obviously hopefully have again this year. Now that things are getting better around the country. But yeah, that was the only other exciting thing I would do. Like I said, that was the only other exciting thing I would do. And to get to the point here, because I know I've been rambling for a bit. Like I said, it's early. To get to the point, living with my dad is really what kind of caused me to get into this mindset of give the parents time, give them a head start of 5 to 10 minutes, and if you don't see, and if you see something, out of the ordinary, then, then be patient. Be patient about it. Because, like I said, my dad, I would look, I was upstairs, I would look downstairs to see whether or not I would look, through the window downstairs, because the windows will look outside. It's kind of like with this, like this window. Imagine this window is the window I'm kind of talking about, but a little smaller, like maybe this size, if you will, like maybe half the size here. So I would look out it. I would look actually not this high or anything, but basically about this high. Let's say it's about this high, okay? And it didn't have blinds or anything, but I would look out it. It had screens and all that, and the windows would lock. But I would look out it, and what I saw at times, like I said, would tell me whether my dad was home because he didn't have to go to work, or he did go to work and I had the place to myself. Or sometimes what would happen is he would call me or he would surprise me by showing up home early because they let him off early. So yeah, it was it's just one of those situations to where now that I live with my mom, and we now have security and everything. It's one of those situations to where, excuse me, it's one of those situations to where now, I've got to be, I got to keep an eye basically to see whether or not she's going to come back after a few minutes because she forgot something, or if she's going to, be on her way because she didn't forget anything. A good example of this, ironically, was on Sunday when she went to go take her car, when she went and took her truck to get washed, get gas, and then take the extra bread and bagels that we had, because we, like I said before, we both kind of bought bread and bagel. We bought a lot of bread and bagels. And what she would do, or not what she would do, but what she did, I should say, she called me up saying, "Hey, I forgot my other truck key. I'm going to come back and get it." And this was about almost around 10 or a little bit more, and this was basically around 10 or a little more than 10, or a little, or just barely over 10 minutes after she left, you know, to do her errands, to do her errands, if you will. And, you know, basically being just barely barely over 10 minutes, that right there is an example of what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I know I sound like I'm rambling to you guys. I do apologize. Like I said, it's early. It's about now 7:37 a.m. Pacific time. And I want to get, and speaking of the time here, guys, this is a prime example of what I'll probably be doing early in the morning, if anything. You see, my mom left around, like I said, 6:50. But starting on Monday, she's not going to be doing that. So what that does for me is that tells me that right now I have my alarm set for 7:06 or 7:03 or 7:05. What that means that what I'm going to have to do is set that alarm and this phone to go off maybe about 6 or even 6:30, so I can get up, turn on my computer, let it run for a bit, if you will, and then hopefully try to do a live stream at least before she wakes up. And by doing a live stream, it allows me to get like some content out that very day besides the content that I have already set and ready to go for premiere, on that day, the content I did about a week ago. So, yeah, this is kind of a prime example, this time frame of exactly what I probably have in mind for, like I said, the next couple of months, if I can, get myself up to do it, if you know what I mean. Now, speaking of the videos that I'm uploading and basically, as I open this up a little bit, some air, before I have to shut it later because it's going to get warm today, it's supposed to be like 100, almost 101, depending on what they decide to say it's going to be, because all it really is an estimation. But anyway, speaking of the videos that I've uploaded, if you will, I've uploaded, and set to premiere in the coming weeks. Just like on Sunday, that kind of helped contribute to me finishing, just like on Sunday and even on Monday, it helped contribute to me finishing off all of the Mondays in July, basically making sure there's a video set for each day to premiere, each one of those Mondays to premiere. I did the same thing yesterday for Tuesdays. I finished that off. So now all the Tuesdays are covered. And this live stream is one of the videos that's going to upload today, or be uploaded and live today. And then on top of that, I plan to at least get 4. Because yesterday, I amazed myself. What I did is I did 11 videos in total. 7 videos for this day, or for yesterday, and 4 for the month of July. And if I can at least do the same thing here, maybe not as many, for today, but if I can do the same thing here, at least, like I said, that'll have content covered for all of the Wednesdays in July. All of the Wednesdays in July will be covered. And then the same thing tomorrow and the Thursdays and the Fridays. So that way all I have to do is just worry about maybe doing 1 or 2 videos for the weeks of August to try to get some content out for you guys then, before she goes back. I'm trying to cover my bases, like I said, what I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to cover all the bases. And I know some of you might say it's kind of ridiculous to do that. But when you really think about it, it's not that ridiculous. It's not that crazy to want to kind of be ahead of schedule, if you will. Especially, like I said, when you live with your parents, you live with your mother, you live with your father, you live with your grandparents, your sisters, your brothers, the husbands, the wives, your cousins, or even your friends. You want to try to have something, available and something contributing to the channel so that people can, sit back and enjoy it. They can sit back and enjoy it while you are off doing other things. Like you might be off on a family trip. You might be off doing other things like, maybe doing family get-togethers. You might be off to seeing a movie, things like that. So yeah. Yesterday was a heck of a day, if you know what I mean, when it came to uploading videos and stuff. And today might be the same way. Again, maybe not as many videos for this exact day, with this being one of them. But, there's also the fact that I'm going to try to get the Wednesdays in July covered so that we don't have to worry about that, anytime soon. And hoping you guys will enjoy that and everything as well. Now, again, like I said, I know some people find it a little ridiculous, that, people like me would want to put videos that far in advance. But when you really think about it, if you were to scout here on YouTube, I bet you would find some videos that are already scheduled and set to premiere next year. I bet you anything. You'd find scheduled live streams set to happen, next year because they want to get it out of the way. I bet you will. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm trying to, stay a step ahead of the curve so that, again, I have content for you guys available, even when I'm not able to do it. But like I said, when you look at the time here, right now it's about, 7:24 or 7:44. So I started about 22 minutes ago, about 7:22, just about a.m. Pacific time in the morning. It's 7:44 now. The thing is, if I'm willing to do a live stream this early, but not like in this manner, but from my room, off my computer, or even this phone, if I'm willing to do that to get content out to you on that day, then I will do it. And like I said, all I have to do is just set my alarm on this, set my alarm on my alarm clock, and, just go from there and see what happens. Because I think honestly, people in the long run that follow any channels that have content appreciate when at least that content creator, supplies content for them, even if that content creator is not around. For example, basically, Brian Zane. Brian Zane basically, for example, Brian Zane sometimes will schedule a video to premiere, not a video that's on his Patreon or anything, but like a regular review or something that he's got scheduled. But, because he's doing other things, he's off doing other stuff, either with family or it's, job related or whatever. He's off doing other things. So yeah, Brian Zane does it sometimes. Channel Awesome does it too sometimes, and that's because they got other videos they got to do for the Nostalgia Critic series and other stuff like sibling, first viewing, the sibling rivalries first viewing with Doug and Rob. They got a lot of stuff they need to do. So they have to basically work around that. Even AVGN, James Rolfe, when he does an Angry Video Game Nerd video, he probably doesn't schedule it to premiere, but he schedules it to, officially air on his channel while he's also probably working on other stuff or he's spending time with family. The point is, it's, like I said, it's just one of those, the point is, what I'm getting at, it's just one of those kind of scenarios to where, with the situation at hand as it is, you got to do what you got to do to, get ahead of schedule, if you know what I mean, or get ahead of yourself. It's kind of like when you go shopping sometimes. You like to make sure you have plenty of supply, especially, let's say, if you're going to be off for a little bit due to your job being seasonal or your job, being this or being that, or whatever. You always like I say want to make sure you're a step ahead or something like that. And that's basically what I'm doing. That's basically what I'm doing. Now, as far as today goes, though, like I said, today, like I said, I got this live stream. I do have a package opening that I need to do because it's a package, I got yesterday a little after 6, and that's a little after 6:30 after my mom got home. And of course, once again, as an example of what I'm talking about, not saying this would affect it if any other packages came my way, but she's very inquisitive. She's very curious as to what I get. And again, it all has to do, and I think honestly, I think it all has to stem from the fact that she knows. I'm not going to deny it. She knows that I have friends online that like to send me stuff, and I think she wants to make sure that whatever I get isn't something that, is not appropriate for the house. Not just, like, let's say, what's the old word I'm looking, not just, like pornographically or stuff like that, but also very, anti-religion, like, a D&D or whatever the case may be, stuff like that. She wants to make sure that doesn't enter the house because, she's a prayer warrior, and she still goes off of the reports and everything that were, reported years ago about that whole situation. And she just wants to make sure that doesn't come into the house again. But yeah, but what I'm trying to say is, yesterday it was basically, like I say, a prime example that, when she's home and a package shows up, she's always curious. She always wants to know, and I have to I gotta let her know that it's really nothing. And when she kind of still wants to know, kind of insisting, if you will, which is not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. She has the right to do that. It's not a bad thing. When she's insisting of it, I just let her know it's a collectible, and that's it. And that's all it really was. It was a collectible. That's all I have to say. But yeah, it's just one of those situations to where. But yeah, like I said, it's a package that I was scheduled to get yesterday, and I did, but it didn't show up till later on, till after she got home. So now I have to do the package opening later today, and apparently I do have another package according to FedEx that is scheduled to show up, and that is like I said earlier, the box spring for my bed. It's supposed to come Friday, but I guess it's going to come a lot earlier. But we'll see. The last time they said, oh, something bed-wise was coming from FedEx for you, it didn't come until a later date. So, but both sides are saying, hey, it's going to come today, so be ready. So we'll see. We shall see. But yeah, those are just a couple of videos besides this one that I got planned. So that'll make about 3. And then on top of that, like I said, I'll maybe do another one, which would be 4 for the day, and then maybe 4 more for all the Wednesdays in July. I just got to think about what I'm going to talk about for those Wednesdays, and I think I have an idea of what to do. I may even just provide video content. Who knows? But yeah, I just wanted to come on here, guys, live and early this morning, almost around 8 o'clock in the morning, or close to it. It's about 7:51 now a.m. Pacific. But I just wanted to come on here, let you guys know what's going on. Get you kind of updated, not much, but kind of let you know what's happening, why it's happening, and also kind of give you more of a vlog detail as to why I'm doing these uploads and scheduling them for weeks in advance and stuff, and the reasoning behind it, as well as as well as kind of giving you an idea as to why I'm doing this early, kind of give you an idea of how that's probably going to work out, and also kind of let you know why I usually like to give my parents, in the past and even currently, a 5 to 10 minute head start after they leave for work, or when they're scheduled to leave for work, so that I can get ready to do my own thing. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know what's happening, and that's all I'm gonna say. So, hope you guys enjoyed this. God bless. Take care. I will talk to you all later because, like I said, I do have videos scheduled, but mostly they will be done inside because today it's going to be really, really hot, and just like the next couple of days as well. So, again, let me know what your thoughts are down below. Comment if you like, and I will talk to you all later. God bless. Take care. Peace. Have a good rest of your Wednesday.